Hello everyone. Today we're going to do in SPAG about pronouns. Pronouns, some of your parents may not have learned about them at school. I know it seems incredible because we talk about all this technical terminology all the time, and it makes it easier to actually name something so that we know what we're referring to. But if we go back to certainly when I was at school and when most of your parents were at school, we didn't use that technical terminology. So if you've got a grown-up by you, explain to them what a pronoun is if you can. If you don't know, then you're just going to have to listen a bit harder during the lesson. Right, you do that explaining while I get the share screen up. Here we go. So our walk today is to recognise pronouns. Now, you notice there's no steps to success there because our step to success is to actually recognise them. But I always think with SPAG lessons, the biggest step to success is seeing you using them in your everyday writing. So it's not just a focused lesson, that you remember to use them in all of your writing. Pronouns are things that we use daily without even thinking about it. So what is a pronoun? And what is it not? Well, a pronoun is a word that can be used in place of a noun to avoid repetition. It's not an adjective, it's not a verb. If I can give an example right now, because I've got to use the props around me, obviously, because you're not here to share this with me, and I know I'm going to so miss not being able to have people at the front of the class and helping me with this, but anyway. So I might say at the moment, Betty is sat by me. Betty is waiting for a treat. Betty is sat nicely. Oh, that's a bit boring, isn't it? I could say, Betty is sat, let's start that one again. Betty is sat by me. She's waiting for her treat. Right, let's give her a treat. I'll keep her quiet as well. Stop the whole thing. So we've got the use of the pronouns. So we don't keep repeating the name Betty. We are using he, she, her. And here's another example. Greg and Rowley. So Greg went to the park. Greg met up with Rowley and Greg and Rowley played football. Not only is it boring, but it's a bit confusing as well, isn't it? I wish I had Greg and Rowley here with me now so that we could do a bit of role play to make this a bit more interesting. But hey, this is what we've got. Let's move on. So Greg and Rowley went to the park. He met up with Rowley and they played football. Sounds much better, doesn't it? Less repetition, more clarity. Absolutely amazing. Wonderful. This is where we throw a bit of confusion into the ring because there is not just one type of pronoun. There's 3 different sorts of pronoun. So you've got your personal pronouns. I, you, she, he, it, we, you, they, us, them, and me. And then you've got the possessive pronouns, such as my, mine, his, her or hers, its, your, yours, their, and theirs. And then you've got relative pronouns, such as who, which, where, that, when, and whose. So possessive, what do you think that might relate to? Yeah, it belongs to, isn't it? It's something that belongs, possessive. We were talking about possessive apostrophes in the last lesson, weren't we? It's belonging. Let's move on. So with the personal pronouns, what pronoun would you use here? Dad is very tired. Hopefully you have said he. We know Dad is male, he's masculine, and therefore he needs his sleep. There's only one of him. The mouse has gone, has escaped. Well, with most mice, just by looking at them, you wouldn't know whether they're male or female. So we can't say whether it's masculine or feminine. So we can't say he or she. We would normally say it's, or it has. It depends whether we're using a contraction. Let's just scrap that again. Okay, so we'll put it has. We won't confuse with contractions. It has escaped. Edward's mother told Edward to tuck his shirt in. What would we replace Edward with? Him, of course. Masculine, so it's not her, it's him. Edward's mother told him to tuck his shirt in. Debbie said that Debbie would like to go to London with Debbie's friend. Now, what are we going to do here? We're going to want to replace this first Debbie with a personal pronoun. So she. Debbie said that she would be going to London with Debbie's friend. Well, now we want a possessive, don't we? We know that the friend belongs to Debbie. So we're going to replace Debbie's with her. So Debbie said that she would be going to London with her friend. Makes far more sense, a lot less repetition. There we are. So those are the personal, but we have got a little possessive one thrown in at the bottom. So the possessive pronouns, spot the pronouns. My name is Sam and I am 10. I have a twin sister called Kate and our birthday is 12th of August. We always argue about it. I say it's mine and she says it's hers. Our mum tells us to be quiet and that it's both our birthdays together. Right. Pause this video just now and have a think about it. No, you're back. So hopefully you will have said, so my name is Sam and I am 10. If you were to say it using the pronoun, the proper noun, it would be Sam. Sam's name is Sam and Sam is 10. Pretty boring, okay? So, my name is Sam and I am 10. I have a twin sister called Kate and our birthday is 12th of August. We always argue about it. Do we need to do it as well? Yeah, because we don't know. If we just had that sentence, we wouldn't know what it was. But because we've mentioned the birthday before, it. I say it's mine and she says it's hers. Our mum tells us to be quiet. That it's, is that one right? Tell me more. Yeah, of course, we've got to rub that one out because that is a, yeah, it's a contraction. It is. However, Can I hear you say, yep, that's right. It is still referring to the birthday, isn't it? It's still a pronoun, even though it's a contraction as well. It's a pronoun. Our. So we've got a lot of pronouns. That just goes to show how often we use pronouns in our daily talk, in our daily speech. Now with relative pronouns, should we just go back and check those relative pronouns? Because the relative pronouns are who, which, where, that, when, and whose. Okay, can you remember those? Who, which, where, that, when, and whose. So now let's look at this. Yeah, who? The girl who broke her leg went to hospital. The school, where, absolutely, I met my friends, is over there. The cat that was chasing birds was hiding in the bushes. Okay, you happy with that? I think actually the relative pronouns for me is probably more difficult to understand and identify. Don't be afraid to go over this again. I'm also going to suggest that we just watch a quick clip from BBC Bite Size, and you might like to keep referring to the BBC Bite Size page to help you. So let's go back and have a quick look. Can you pause this now? On your daily schedule, you will see that there is a link there. Go to that. Let's watch the first clip. Okay, you watched that? You might have also decided to watch some of the other clips while you're about it, and that's fine. It is a very useful site, and if you're still confused, please go back and revisit it. It'll help your understanding, certainly. So pronouns are very useful. But if you use them too many times, our writing become a bit confusing. Greg has written this well-known story, but has used so many pronouns that we don't know which character is which. Can you work out which ones we need to change? So, right. The tortoise and the hare waited for the gun to start the race. Bang! Immediately, he flew out of the box. His long legs ate up the ground, and soon he was completely out of sight. Meanwhile, he had only just crossed the starting line. His little legs didn't move very fast. Looking back from the top of the hill, he saw him and laughed. Are you confused? I am. It's a good job I know this story really well, because if I didn't, I'd wonder what's the same person doing a fly out the blocks, and then next minute, he's only just crossed the start line. What time? Did he fall over? Let's make it make more sense. So, the tortoise and the hare, so we know there are two characters here. The tortoise and the hare waited for the gun to start the race. Bang! Immediately, he flew out of the box. Yeah, we need to change that. We need to know who it was that was flying out of the blocks. Well, we know that it can't be the tortoise because the tortoise is rather slow. Let's take that back because that doesn't look at all neat. So, the hare. The hare flew out of the blocks. His long legs ate at the ground, and soon he was completely out of sight. Do we need to change anything else in that beginning part? No. That makes really good sense now. We know that all this relates to the hare. Meanwhile, and I would argue that we should have a comma there. Why? Yeah, you're right. He had only just crossed the start line. Well, clearly that can't be the same character as the one that flew out of the blocks. We also know that tortoises are slow. So it's going to be the tortoise. So the tortoise only just crossed the starting line. His little legs didn't move very fast. Looking back from the top of the hill, he saw him and laughed. Hang on a minute. I got confused again. So who's looking back from the top of the hill and saw him? Who's him? Who's he? Yeah, well, if something has moved that fast, they've moved away from it. So that must be hare. Hare saw him and laughed. So the hare has gone speeding on ahead, waited at the top of the hill, looked down at the tortoise, and he's laughed at him. That makes sense now, doesn't it? You really must be careful. And this is where, I know I bang on about this all the time, but you need to read through your work. And you need to write a paragraph, read the paragraph, then move on to the next paragraph, because then you pick up on things like this. Reading and editing work is just so important. Pronouns can also be used to make links between sentences. For example, Sheena suggested we should go back. This seems like a good idea. What is the pronoun in this example, and what's it referring to? We, isn't it? It's Sheena and yourself, myself. And it seems like a good idea. So Sheena suggested we should go back. Let's have a look at these. The old man opened the box. It was empty. What is it referring to? So change colour here. So it, in this case, is referring to the box, isn't it? Makes perfectly good sense. It's definitely not going to be referring to the old man, is it? Because the old man isn't empty. Let's have a look at the next example. Greg went first. I said that was not fair. What's he referring to then? What's that pronoun being used for? It's the fact that he went first, isn't it? The going first was that. Manny won the race. This was a surprise. Is Manny the surprise? Well, it is that he won the race. The fact that he won the race is the surprise. That it was Manny that won the race. So we've got some sheets for you to complete. The sheets, if you wanted to print them out, are on the daily plan. If you haven't got a printer, it's not a problem at all, because you can just simply copy out the work. And I'm going to do a bit of explaining. I'll go through the Go Deep, and then I'll do a bit of explaining with the Go Deeper, because I think some of you might get a bit confused as to what we're asking to do. Read the questions carefully and read them twice. So it says, circle the possessive pronouns. The possessive pronouns, okay, in the sentences below. Possessive, they have actually done in bold. So you know what it is that is being asked of you. If you are copying it into your books, you can either circle or underline. I really don't mind which. Number 2 is circle the relative pronoun. Number 3 is which option of those 4 would be the correct one to put in there. Again, write the whole sentence out and underline which one you've chosen. What does the word others refer to in the passage below? Again, you've got a choice there. In your sentence, underline the appropriate one, the one that you are choosing, the one that others refers to. Might be more than one as well, mightn't it? Think about that. You're talking about yourself. Fill in the missing pronouns. Okay, you all right? That one? What sort of pronouns are they going to be? What ones are you going to use, do you think? It's likely to be personal ones, isn't it? Right, so now on to the Go Deeper. So how many more ways are there to Paris? Connect the stations on each route, making sure they are a good match for each other. Use a ruler and pencil. So I am on my way to Paris. And then let's use a different colour. So let's say you, is it you am on my way? No, you were on my way to Paris. Does that make sense? No, your way. So actually link them up. So you would do, let's take that last one back because we do need to put that it's on and down to your. So that's the sort of thing we're looking at. Okay, is that explanation enough, I hope? You're independent learners. You shouldn't need to disturb your parents for this. I think almost all of you will know what to do. If you're still a bit confused about pronouns, go back to the BBC Bite Size and have a look at the video clips to see if they will help you. If not, why don't you give us a message on Dojo and we'll answer it as soon as we can. All right, there's your work for today. I'm looking forward to marking it, as always, and I'll see you next time.